you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another dreadful episode of the podcast. Only difference is this week we're talking about the movie Dredd. Karl Urban, 2012. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know. So you get a mega city where judges are like the whole judiciary system, bruh. They drive out, bruh, and just decide guilt on other people whenever they want, whenever they see it. Big thing is. I have to get out of the way for me is the hardcore gritty judge role, played by Karl Urban, is immediately nerfed by a woman who just has telepathic powers. Now, I don't know if anybody else was outraged about this, but I was outraged about this.
I am also outraged by that.
I'm outraged by this.
I didn't care.
Reed, it's all in the deep end.
Yeah. Ugh. So he's just a judge, and now judges get to do whatever the shit they want. Like,
Well, yeah, he's the judge, jury, and executioner. That's the whole point.
yeah. I just don't know. Jack, political science question for you, hot out of the gate here. Would a system of officials who act as judge, jury, and executioner work? I have it written down to ask you that. Do you think that'll work, man? Your studies, have they told you anything?
Well, sir, to answer your question, in the realms of political science, no, we have separation of powers for a reason. However, I would like to add a stipend, a little Marxist theory behind it, as you will.
Of course.
From a socioeconomic standpoint, a billionaire could probably gun down someone in the street and probably not see too much judiciary wise. However, there has been times in history that people have been killed in similar fashion and similar ways where the judiciary is all three. So, yeah, I guess it does exist, but
yeah,
no,
it shouldn't.
It should not. I like the separation of powers.
I too like separation of powers. Noah, you like separation of powers?
No, I don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit?
Can we talk about the psychic girl some more?
Yeah, let's talk.
Noah is a fascist.
Sure,
it's been a while since we've had a hater episode.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've been waiting for this so long, dude. Ugh.
Negativity, let it run, let it feed.
As a someone that likes to write every now and again, and someone that watches a shit ton of movies, the audacity to just write your co-lead in as someone that can read minds is such bullshit. It's when no one else in the movie displays any sort of supernatural ability in any way, to have a character that can just solve any problem at any point by reading someone's mind is so fucking lazy, and I hate that. I hate that as a plot device. It pissed me off so bad.
I write notes for these pages front to back. This week I barely wrote shit because I started writing and they were so negative. I was like, no, I gotta get done watching this and then I'll write. I was pissed I got done. I was like, no, I had it right from the frickin' start. I could have been going all along. Yeah, the characters is the first thing that I had wrote. Even Dredd himself, he's like a weak nothing character. He's one-dimensional at best. His thing is that he is judge, jury, executioner.
You don't see his eyes.
No, you don't even see you don't get to see into the windows of his soul that are his
You
eyes.
could have played that role as good as Karl Urban did.
Reed,
I am the law.
Give us your best frowny face, because he only ever had like a really frowny face. Like, yeah, not great.
But what's crazy, the reason I suggested this movie is I've only ever heard positive things about it. But it seems like maybe we feel similarly. I thought I might have to be devil's advocate on this, but
I'm not gonna lie. I think the original's better, and I often get the original mixed up with Demolition Man because they are very much the exact same movie.
No way you've seen the original Dredd. No way.
I have. Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes.
When? Why? Is it good?
It's campy. It's Sylvester Stallone.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, fuck you.
No way.
95?
Is that when the original came out? Was 95?
Yeah.
It's based on a comic book, I believe, or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like his delivery of "I am the law" from that movie. I've never seen it. I've seen that clip. That's cool. His line in this movie, it's not my favorite line. It's pretty lame. Let's go back one more time here, and maybe some more. The psychic thing, though. Yeah, they had no right to not only do a whole movie where this character's in there. There's not even a background. She shows up, and this woman working in the judiciary system who kind of has authority over Judge Dredd, even though Judge Dredd can do whatever he
And
wants,
she just
is
pops out of it like nowhere and just
Yeah.
like starts talking to her, like talking to everybody, like,
she's
they work side by
boss.
side.
Yeah, like they've been together. And then she shows up again in the end. She's like, "Yeah, I'm here now."
Yeah.
Um,
No, she literally disappears for 45 minutes and then is in the final scene again. Like, whatever.
yeah. I don't know how it even happened. As the movie went on, we get to like the climax with how do you say her name? Lena Headley? Lana Headey?
Yes.
Lena
Lena
Headley?
Headey, I think.
Yeah, Miss Tahiti herself. You get to the climax with her, and I watched it happen, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Sorry, I don't mean to swear so much. Oh shoot! That's the movie climax. I was like in a daze, a funk. It's like, I guess we're done now. Like that was it. We rose and we fell, and now we have resolution. Except I don't have resolution. I guess this is my resolution is complaining about it. Um, yeah,
I think,
disgusting
Noah,
stuff.
you said the psychic power was lazy. I
Yes.
think that is a good word for like this whole script. It is just lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
do let me speak positively on it. I do see the appeal. I think to have like a stylized movie that came out in the early 2010s where it all takes place in this like big building. I think that's interesting. I think they had a good concept, but yeah, the script is it's just not there. And sometimes in action movies it doesn't need to be there. But I mean, this movie's what, 15 years old now? I don't know what year it came out, but when we get shit like the John Wicks and the Mad Maxes that really just knock our freaking socks off, to go back and see this really feels like a product of like 2011 era film, which isn't something it reminds me of the Fast and the Furious. It's not something I want to visit all that much, you know?
Can I be honest? Can I be honest? Well, this movie feels like a sci-fi original that they were like, we're going to make it for 3D. Because for God's sakes, this movie had to have been released Dread in 3D because there's slow-mo scenes where they like have blood coming out at like the audience. I'm like, that had to have been made for 3D. Because if it isn't, it's a byproduct of 3D that no longer existed.
Sci-fi original is a great way to introduce this film to somebody. Like, I'm not trying to say this is the worst thing. I'll never watch this movie again. It's not the worst thing. There's better versions of this movie. You guys ever seen the movie The Raid?
No, but I know it's like
Yes.
a similar thing where it all takes place and
It's
like
there's a raid, a police raid.
yeah.
They go into a building, they get stuck in the building and have to fight their way out of it. It's kind of a similar setup situation, except maybe had I never watched Raid, this movie would have been better. But having watched Raid, it's like that was an A and this was an F. Like this just is not it. The effects of this movie could be cool in moments, but like a lot of the camera quality was like this looks like Jason X level camera quality. Like it's just ugh. I
I
did
don't,
like I did like what's that again?
I was like, I don't get the coloring of this movie. Like it's too clear and it's too light. Like it
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
it
too
just
light.
doesn't fit what they're trying to do
Yeah,
whatsoever.
too light for sure. The one thing coloring, lighting, editing, visual wise was when they would do the drug and whatnot, and when they're doing the shoot thing, that was
Mhm.
cool. I like that. That was
Mm-mm.
very
Oh, I hated
stylish.
that.
I
I
liked it.
disagree with you. I didn't like it.
I'm with Noah. I hated it.
I liked it.
I
It was.
thought I thought it pulled me out of the movie
I
because
think
I
it
was
was
like,
a
this is obnoxious.
It was the one thing that was special about this movie to me. Everything else was another throwaway. It's the thing that stood out to me where whenever it popped up, I was like, that's pretty cool. Now, like the fifth time it was happening, I was like, let's do a new thing. And then they did do a different thing. Anyway, I liked it. Spruced it
So,
up for me.
I mean, yeah, it's just by the fifth time and it just like goes like, super slow, just like,
Yeah.
subtracts about, 5 times speed, so you just have to suffer through it again.
Wait. Yeah.
So I think the slow mo is like the crux of the movie, like what they want. This is what we're
Hmm.
doing cool. And the first couple times where they're just doing the drug, I mean, I was like viscerally angry at it. Like, bro, this is not cool at all. Once the action started getting involved with the slow mo, I like that a lot more. And my favorite shot in the movie is like towards the end when Lena Headey goes out the window and it shows like Dredd with all the broken glass, like standing in the building. I did think that was a really cool shot, but it felt to me like the makers of Dredd thought like we have the fucking coolest shit ever with this slow-mo drug, and it did not come off that way to me for 90% of the movie. The only time it worked for me was that last scene. So
The only part I liked it was when they shoot the bullet going through the guy's head in slow-mo. I was like, oh, that's a cool effect. But
Yeah,
then after
yeah.
that, I was like, yeah, 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 yeah.
it's like
Um,
motion, but slow.
hmm
guys, I
It
think
was
we're
like
on to something.
it was like someone walked into the boardroom when they were pitching this movie, and they're like, guys, I have an idea. Why
Yeah.
don't we slow-mo the scenes? Why don't we shoot it at faster frames and then slow it down so it seems like it's slow motion? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, like,
Something that really did not work for me is, and I think I know the reason why it certainly didn't work for me, is the scenes with the psychology major, the psychic herself, Judge Anderson is her name. Um, she they've got this guy hostage. They're trying to
Rookie.
yeah, the rookie. They're trying to get this guy out of the building, Judge Dredd and Judge Anderson, and this low down, no good criminal that they're after, trying to get him out of the building. And she's like, I can read his thoughts, and he's trying to be all intimidating, and it's like threatening her with like scary, nasty thoughts, and they're very sexual thoughts, very sexual fantasy thoughts. And I think in another movie, I would have been like, ooh, that's edgy, but I think as Engen brought up with the lighting, it's too light and colorful for them to suddenly cut to this like very erotic, like sexual, violation type of a scene. It's like, what the heck? Like, ugh, that's like watching Magic School Bus and then like a building blows up. Like, what the hell? What was that?
Yeah. And I
That's not
think
right.
and I think Noah was right where it's like that is so that 2010s like
Yeah.
look, which it totally is. Like there's this movie called Gamer. You guys remember seeing
No.
that movie at
wait,
all?
is that the one? No, I'm gonna go off on a limb here. Is that the one where they have a kid who's a really good gamer control a special ops soldier?
I think so. This just popped in my head. But yes, I think Gerard Butler is the Spec Ops guy.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty similar where it's super light and you got the like and then you have some graphic nudity and then just like all this, gruesome violence and that same light coloring and that, same it had to have come out in 2010 too.
Right.
Yeah. I think, it's an easy thing to say. I think nudity has a place in certain movies. Movie like this, if you don't even have your action down right, you probably don't need to be making somebody get naked on camera. I just, ugh,
And
not for
I
me.
mean, you look at that that actor, that criminal that they were like having hostage, like that is Avon from The Wire. Like he was like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s was like one of the like he
Yeah.
was the villain on The Wire and like he was one of the best actors working at that time. And I mean, he has one of the best villain characters of all time in The Wire. He's, had Remember the Titans and like these are all really good well, not maybe not all, but like, Lena Headey is obviously really good
Yeah.
Oh my
actress
God.
and like it's such a boring character that she's playing. Like
So
she's
bland.
sitting up in a room and just telling people what to do and not, doing anything. We don't have any drive for her or anything.
And what
Um,
movie comes out 2012? Was she in Game of Thrones at this point?
No, she was doing
mhm.
300.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, she knew well enough by then.
Well, even Karl Urban, we know what he can bring. Like, for God's sakes, like Butcher's one of the coolest TV characters ever. He
This would have been during the Star Trek years, wasn't it?
Yeah, which he's also great in. Like he's phenomenal in Star Trek. Like we know he can bring shit to roles, and this like really he does not bring anything to the role of Dredd, I don't think, does he?
I mean, he makes. I mean, he's kind of cool,
He's fine. Yeah.
but
Like,
like they had so much more than they could have done with this. I mean,
yeah.
with this
Yeah.
Well,
cast and this
Oh,
story at
certainly. I
least.
think I think there's a scene I think about with Karl Urban that doesn't always come up. Why would it come up? His role as Eomer in The Lord of the Rings, but
Yeah.
particularly extended editions, the Return of the King movie. There's a little bit. He doesn't even have a line of what I'm talking about. He thinks that his sister is dead, so he's running to her and is like dropping his like spear and like crying and like stumbling as he runs. And it's like it's not over the top at all. It's like this he's got it right on. This guy knows how to conduct himself and not be a drama queen. Like he's like guy's a broken character, but like he's not like blubbering. It's great. He's
Oh,
good.
he's terrific as Aomer. Like, I know you know Lord of the Rings like better than anyone in the world, but to like someone that like me that's a casual fan, I haven't seen those movies in 6 years, and I remember him from that. Like he brings something to
Mhm.
a somewhat small role. Like he's phenomenal.
well, I don't know how you guys feel about. I know sci-fi is everyone has their own little niche of science fiction that they like. For me personally, the sci-fi genre of the near future, depraved human world sci-fi, kind of like cyberpunk as well. I'm not a fan of those
No,
science fiction worlds
Well, you like
because
District 9, don't you?
yeah, but that's not like depraved. When I say depravity, I mean what is the fundamental societal factors that they're presenting in Judge Dredd? In poverty, drugs, and sex.
And
It's
the
the
only
exact same thing in
solution
cyberpunk,
is
and
the authoritarian state of
yeah,
judge.
and they explore nothing else in that science fiction world except saying this is humans at their absolute worst, and this is the future we're going to. I'm not a fan of those worlds because,
yeah.
they don't explore anything besides that. Yeah, like what do you offer in here?
Yeah.
Like what's on offer?
I was really excited right when we got going in the movie. Like before we get to the building, I was like, cool, we're gonna have like some expansive stuff here. And we don't explore all that at all. We explore like a building. Like he sets it up like this is the world, one big city, hundreds of miles long, too many people living in the ruins of an ancient city. And then it's a gray building. It's
It's a
just
gray
that's
building.
yeah. I thought we
Also,
were gonna get
Peach
cyberpunk, really.
trees.
The
like
peach trees.
it's clearly filmed in LA, but in like on the map when they like show the city, it's on the East Coast, and that really threw
Yes.
me off
It
because I was
said
like,
Austin to DC, 800 million people.
yeah, but Pete, yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't like the world. I think it's a little too. It's
Yeah.
not my cup of tea.
I'll say when it comes to like those like I don't know what you would call it. I want to say like a post-apocalyptic world. It's kind of what it is because anyway, I don't like that. I don't like that kind of a setting. That leaves me destitute. There's not a lot of realms and world building I don't like to get into. I don't like to get into the like near future where things are falling apart because it's like, yeah, I see
The- uh,
reflections and I don't like seeing those reflections. Not that, we're dealing with Judge Dredd, but like I don't like it. I don't like people
the
harshing my
only,
vibe. I like thinking about I could be living in the Shire, you
and like
know.
the difference is like, Blade Runner is near future science fiction, but I like the world of Blade Runner because it's presented in a way that's more than just people. You get what I mean? You get what I'm
Yeah.
trying to put
Yeah.
down?
Well, and
These
like District 9 has aliens, and the most badass weaponry you've ever seen in a movie. Like that has something special about it. This didn't so much.
Well, we
Yeah.
had a cyborg
Wait, a
psychic.
psychic?
we had a psychic, yeah.
Actually, she's called a mutant, Zach. So
Oh,
it's actually
sorry.
like X-Men.
Sorry.
Mutant. Um, I God dang it, what was I gonna say? I'm amazed District 9, complete tangent off of Judge Dredd. District 9, it is amazing. There's a huge following. People are constantly talking about, I can't believe it never got a sequel. You're telling me these people out there that are making sequels out of anything and everything that they can have yet to pick up District 9 and do it? Are you kidding me?
Well,
Wasn't
that
Unbelievable.
there
director kind of fell off.
wasn't
He
there
kind
a
of
He
fell
did.
off
similar
the map.
movie
He
We'll
did.
get somebody else to direct it. That's not a
Because
problem.
he did District 9, and then I think he went off and did like Elysium, not Oblivion. What's that other one?
Chappie.
There's
He did
Chappie. Yeah, that's
Chappie.
a bad movie. That movie sucks.
I don't love Chappie, but I did like it just fine. Um, I I think that that guy you could get him to direct another one of those, and even still, you can just get another person. Like you have the world built. Like that's okay. George did Star Wars, and then who came on for number five? Was Lawrence Kasdan the writer, not the director? Who's the director of Star Wars now?
Irvin Kershner.
Of course,
Hirsch.
of course, of course. Everybody's favorite, the Whoopi Kirshner. Okay, so have you call him? If the fun fact about this movie, if the judges were not involved in the story, Judge Dredd and Judge Anderson, there are so many people that would not have died.
Oh yeah.
There are so many people that would be alive.
Or if they just killed the guy that they knew already did the thing that they were going to interrogate him for, she would have just let them go.
Yeah. Like, why didn't she just read his mind immediately and shoot him in the
She
head?
did. She did do that. The unbelievable thing,
Like,
she reads his mind and then he goes, "How sure are you?" And she goes, 99%. It's like, no, no, no. No, no, no. You read his mind. Like,
yeah.
yeah, you know. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
That's before the kids, right? And they're like, "We're gonna shoot you," and Judge Dredd is like, "I suddenly have moral code, and I'm not gonna shoot two kids with guns pointed at me." Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
breaking the
There's a
law. He would kill those
or
two.
or like at the end, at the very final shootout scene, when they get into the room where Lana Headey's in, and she's standing there, fully open. You telling me that these two people who have been gunning down the entire time aren't gonna walk into the room and see the one person standing straight up and down and not gun them down? Are you kidding me? You're gonna talk to this person first and then
It's ridiculous too, because he even, I think, already has spoken into the intercom and said that I'm looking for her and I'm gonna kill her. Like she's broken the law and now she's gonna die. Like he's made that clear, and everybody else can get out of the way if they want
Well,
to.
it's the same thing when that woman judge comes to take a hit out on them, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I see her. I'm gonna shoot her, and if she sees me, she'll hesitate, and then I'll shoot her." And then they meet, and she's like, "Drop your weapon," and then she just shoots her. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really bad. I like nowadays when I watch a movie, I'll think to myself, God, that sucked. Did an AI write that? It's so bad. Looking at movies like this, I'm happy that I get to hate on it because I'm like, some a-hole wrote this pile of garbage.
It's not some a-hole. It's the fucking guy that made Ex Machina, one of the best movies I've ever
Oh,
seen in my
jeez.
whole life.
you're
And
kidding. He did not write this.
when
He
his
did
name
not.
Alex
showed up in the
Garland?
credits, my jaw dropped. I
Yeah.
had
Alex
no
Garland?
idea. It's
Are you
Alex
sure?
Garland. Yes, I'm positive. It's Ex Machina guy.
Ex Ex Machina, who, so you're telling me Alex Garland wrote this movie and then
Yep.
went on to write arguably two very good pieces of feminist sci-fi fiction
Yeah, like
with
three years later. And the
3 years later?
connection is the Donald Gleason jump scare in this movie, who plays like the
The
camera guy.
humorous.
Like, what the fuck is he doing there?
It's it'd been a minute. It had been a minute since I've seen this, and when he pops up for the first time, I went, "Is that Gleason?" And then I
Yeah.
went, "Oh my God, it is! Look at that little rat!" And
No,
then
when
he's
he
like,
showed up, I like legit like jumped back from the screen. I was scared to see him.
Written and produced.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he also did Civil War too, so I mean, he does have his flops.
I haven't
I
seen
never
Civil
saw
War.
that.
I
It
saw
also
Extinction. Extinction, is it? What's the one with
Section 49 or
no
Annihilation?
Annihilation. I
Annihilation?
saw
Yeah,
That
that.
one's that one's
I
that
saw
one's
that one.
that one's pretty wild and it's
Yeah,
cool, but it's not
not the
great.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him. I mean, I would watch because I love Ex Machina so much. I think I would like try anything he would do.
wow.
But yeah, he's kind of hit or miss in general, I would say.
He is a big hit or miss guy. Holy cow.
Uh
Worst part, I think, okay, so my least favorite part of this was when Lena Headey is on the Gatling gun just mowing down hundreds of people and like tearing down like the whole building just with three Gatling guns.
Yeah,
That was my least favorite
it was
part.
not exciting.
I was
It was, yeah,
like looking at my
right.
watch.
Same.
I think that kind of villainy for me has been ruined by something that you're all probably gonna scoff at, turn your noses up at me for saying this. The Walking Dead has given some perspective in the villains. Yeah, don't stop it, Noah. He scoffed, then he did his nose. Anyway, the character in Negan, he always has a referencing point when it comes to him doing bad things. He always brings up that people are a resource. Um, he'll always say that shit. So I'm always like, when a baddie comes in with this having a dominion over people and then kills those people, I'm always like, well, what are you going to do tomorrow? You don't have a population to rule over anymore. You're nobody. You're ruling over dead people. So I always hate seeing that because it's just like that's short-sighted. That's dumb. It's like a drug deal. That's like if Gustavo Fring was suddenly like killing all of his
Yeah.
people
Poisoning
buying
the
drugs.
chicken.
Yeah, it's like
Well, technically, he was killing his consumers.
slowly,
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 technically.
very
Technically.
slowly.
Yes, two different
Thank you.
clientele.
You are right. Yeah. Ingen, this one is a question for you. Would you want to be a judge from this movie?
Uh, I'd want to have their gun and capabilities to use it.
I'm gonna stop you right there, sir. I'm gonna stop you right there.
I'm not choosing that as like
I'm gonna
if I
stop you
could
right
have
there.
one weapon from any movie, it would be Judge Dredd's gun. I wouldn't
I'm
go
gonna
that far,
stop you
but
right there.
like if I could
I'm
have
gonna,
it, I
I'm
would
gonna stop you
totally.
right there, Fred. I'm not a prop nerd. I'm not big on the
Hot
function
shot.
of science fiction guns. But you're telling me that this I don't understand how this gun works because the clip is in the front, but then they load it like a regular pistol with like pistol mags. That's what he has, and I'm what's going on here? Like
Um,
it does it the gun makes no sense. I don't
I'm with you
understand it.
on that. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Hiya.
while we're knocking on the gun, I gotta say, I actually really like the sound of the gun. I like the shaping of the gun's cool, but like the sound of that thing, it was cool. I don't know. I liked it. To me, I liked hearing them shoot that thing. It was pleasant.
So I like all these science fiction guns, and then there's just like an MP5. Like seriously, you guys couldn't like spruce that up a little bit. You couldn't like add a couple parts to it.
Paint a couple of dots on there.
Well, it's just like their motorcycles. They just put like, it's like a little cone on the front, kind of.
Now, I
Yeah.
was I was certain watching this movie that those motorbikes had to be like straight out of the comic book. Because watching this movie, I was like, that thing looks so goofy. It's so blocky and bulky and just like
So you're telling me all those judges are in motorcycle distance away from this one place, from like their precinct? Like there has to be so many precincts and judges out there, right?
You think someone in DC ever got a call for Austin and was like, "Yeah, 10-4, I'll be there,"
yeah, I'll be
and got
there.
on their bike and drove? Like,
Maybe they're
It's
mega freeways or like have like walking carpets, moving carpets on there so they can go even like faster.
I thought you meant like it would be like at the airport, like they just stand on there and like all the way to
They
Austin,
they have the motorbike on the
and
moving
it's speeding them up.
mega freeway.
God dang it. Earlier this week, Ingen brought up this could be a very short episode. I think he might have been right. I don't have anything to say on this movie that's like hot. I can't, I like we just did Seven last week and we were getting into so many details. It was awesome. Like everything was clicking between us. And now it's like nothing's clicking. I don't even
well,
want it to click.
I think the issue is that this is one of those movies. There's two spectrums of bad movies. There's the really, really, really bad movies that you can really talk about, and then there's movies like this, which have like one or two bright spots, and then are just so mediocre the rest of the
Yeah.
way that you're like, what do you think about it? It's all right. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
watch it again.
I think that's very well said. Like I didn't expect to just get on this podcast and just kind of like complain about it because it's only like 90 minutes long. I didn't hate my time watching this movie. it just like mediocre kind of feels right, like I'm
I
not gonna never again will I be in the mood to watch Dread.
oh, I
Yeah.
started watching it last night actually. I got like 15 minutes into it and I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. Whatever sleep I can get now is gonna be more beneficial. And maybe tomorrow, like I'll look at this differently and it will be fun. Because I was nervous, like you guys said. I didn't want to be the only one who hated this thing or didn't like it. Um, but no,
I watched this in the summer for the first time. I was definitely higher on it after watching it the first time, and
You
then
gave it an eight,
uh,
my dear sir. I
yeah,
got the receipts. I went and looked.
I enjoyed it more the first time. The second time was definitely a lot different.
I get it. I
I could see this being a summer movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. I
And
don't
obviously, I see it with this, with this lens too when I watch it, knowing I'm going to talk about it the next day. So I'm like
Right.
trying to look at things,
catch
in
everything.
a
Yeah.
different light. So,
It's rare for me, I feel. It's rare I ever watch a movie and say to myself, I'm never gonna watch that again. I don't know if I'm ever popping that one on my television screen again. Noah always brings up, and you guys do too sometimes, I think, but Noah particularly, you have a habit of saying you watch a movie like Nosferatu. You were like, I don't think I'm never gonna watch that movie again. I loved it and I enjoyed my experience, but I'm not gonna, and I get that, but like I could never, like, I love rewatching a movie. Like, I don't know, like to pop in a movie I've seen 17 times has the same value to me as watching a movie for the second time or the 30th time.
Oh, and it does for me too. It's like a specific kind of movie for me. Your
Yeah.
your School of Rocks or your
mm,
Back
What?
to the Future.
Oh, rewatchability. I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say School of Rock is a movie you'll never watch again. I was
No.
like, what are you
Like I
nuts?
I I definitely value rewatching movies, but yeah, I am also one to like yeah, that's good. That's it for me. So,
okay, you brought up School of Rock. Okay, Ned Schneebly,
mhm.
Mike White,
Schneebley.
dire director of that, also creator of The White Lotus
White Lotus,
TV
yes.
series on
Sick.
Max.
Yep.
This Sunday is a White Lotus Sunday. It is a HBO premiere television event
Do
this
they drop the
Sunday.
whole season or is it week by week bullshit?
Oh, it's a week by week. It
I
is not bullshit. That is
hate
the
that. It is
way
bullshit.
TV is supposed to be
No, it's
watched.
not. We're
Yes, it
over
is.
that. We've advanced. Give me the
No,
whole
we have
season.
not. This is how
Yes,
TV
we
is supposed to
have.
be watched,
No way.
week by week.
No
Wait,
way.
let it simmer.
No way. Not unless it's
Yes.
House of the Dragon. No way.
It's
Well,
I,
HBO premiere television. You gotta wait. You gotta let that simmer.
I
I will
miss
watch
week by
it
week.
in 3 months when the whole.
Is Aubrey Plaza in this season?
No.
I'm not watching it.
I very much miss week by week. I love it for
Fair,
House of Dragons. I
fair.
like the anticipation. I like the community we get. While we're on this tangent of talking about other things, because we may or may not be out of dread topics. Last Wednesday I brought up I couldn't record last Wednesday because I was going to a movie. Did I tell you guys what movie I saw? It's just the reason why I brought up. I specifically pointed out Noah's not wanting to rewatch particular movies because it's like a one and done thing. Also, why I sent a text. I don't know if I texted all you guys, but the when I said or I think I just texted Noah directly of I understand the feeling you get where you see something and you're
Oh
just like put
yes.
off by it.
Yep.
I never get that in movies. I can watch the most grotesque, grisly shit and just be like, okay, whatever. Noah watch it and be like, I didn't need to see that. I don't care when I see that. To me, it's just sets and props and technique, and it's cool. I watched Hellraiser in theaters. I will never watch Hellraiser again. Don't you guys seen that one?
Is
No.
that the
Ooh,
spiky dude? Is that
Yeah.
like he's got those
yeah,
spikes?
Pinhead.
Yeah, I've never
Pinhead.
seen it.
Yeah.
Cenobite Leader's his name in this. Pinhead's not even a real name in the first movie. Ugh, ugh, every 3 minutes there's a new. Ugh, what are we doing here, people? How did this get made in the 80s? They talk about kids from the 80s who are now 50 years old. Anyway, no, people from the 80s when they were kids, they talk about movies they used to watch back then. They're like, yeah, I shouldn't have been watching that one, but we were unsupervised in the 80s.
Right.
This is a movie where it's like, oh my God, how? how they survived the 80s on this stuff. Odd.
Yeah, you
Oh,
you having that reaction to it has like absolutely skyrocketed it as like the next thing I need to watch when I have a
no.
minute. Like
No.
I need to see this.
No.
Yeah.
I'll watch it in October.
No.
My
Dude.
my number one is
Ugh.
Final Destination Bloodlines. Like that's my number one. It's gonna be the best
That
movie.
that's in the Tim Robinson movie. Like I'm so 10 out of 10 excited for both those things. I can't wait.
That Final Fantasy Bloodlines movie, we talked about how many Bloodlines
Final
technically there are.
Destination.
One of the
Destination.
sequels, one of the like, there's actually over 20 sequels to Hellraiser, which is crazy. One of them is Hellraiser Bloodlines.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
I saw
frequent
Pet
thing.
Cemetery Bloodlines on Max the other day, I think
People
too.
like that.
So
Judge Dredd Bloodlines, yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, in this new realm of stylized action movies, I'm surprised Dredd hasn't been like revamped. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest that IP hasn't been dug out
But
of its grave.
it's the helmet problem. It's the helmet problem. No one wants to sign up to wear a helmet
You
Yep.
for
say that,
most of the
Ingen,
movie.
Ingen, Ingen, I'm gonna destroy your argument. The
I
Mandalorian.
was gonna say, get
He hated
Pedro.
it. He was actively,
He got made millions.
But he
he
took it
hated
off.
it.
He
He
takes
hated
it
it.
off.
And
Dude,
yeah,
he fought
guess
it
what?
every day.
Dredd could do it a couple times too. He could be like, "I'm gonna show you my helmet," and then like take off his head. But
He
like,
couldn't, I guarantee it. He couldn't.
I would actually
Pedro
really like to be on
Pedro
board.
hated it. Act came out,
do
hated
you know
it.
how easy that acting role is? You don't have to do any face acting. You stand
That's what
there.
it was. He wouldn't show up. He would have his double do all the acting.
He got paid millions.
They're so
I'd
wrong
love
for
that.
that. I would love it so much. All day I'm in a suit. Could you imagine you're in a whole Mandalorian suit of armor and they're like, just hang out and say that line with this little baby Yoda. I'd be like, yeah, are you kidding me? What's my line? Ooh, I can take you in hot or I can take you in cold. Ooh. Like, yeah, that's difficult. Oh, I don't want to show up to set for that.
Okay, of the people who watch The Mandalorian, what percentage of people do you think know that that was Pedro Pascal?
30.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say at least 40 to 60.
Still, 60%, 40% of people who watch your show don't even know that's you.
Guys, I think you're crazy. I'd say 99% of
Bullshit.
people.
No,
My
there
mom
is
has
no
no idea
way.
who Pedro Pascal even is.
Okay,
Like,
time out, time out. I thought you were asking people that know who Pedro Pascal is in the show, do they know that's Pedro Pascal in the suit? I thought that's what we were talking about there.
well,
My
because
bad.
so many people watch The Mandalorian that aren't like diehard film fans or TV fans, you know?
Yeah,
Like, he gained no exposure from doing that show.
very minimal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about the experience that you take with
And he
you.
didn't like it.
Yeah.
But now he's in the MCU.
And now he'll never be Judge Dredd.
And he probably had to talk to Kathleen Kennedy a couple times. That has to be horrible.
I was thinking actually next week, guest appearance, Kathleen Kennedy's coming on the pod.
Oh, I was hoping we'd get Karl Urban.
Yeah, maybe. He doesn't want to show his face.
If you were to ask Karl Urban something, what would it be?
Oh, that's
Or,
great.
or what would you, yeah.
I feel like I'd want to know who his agent is because, like, if I could pick the career of any actor, I mean, bro is in
Dude,
Ragnarok, Lord of
dude,
the
he
Rings,
is the
Star Trek.
comic book,
Like,
he's an underrated comic book, like, legend.
he is, and
Actor. Not
he
like
shouldn't
in,
be underrated anymore because he
Hey,
is great.
you're forgetting one movie.
What?
Doom.
Doom?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
I
Don't
think
watch it.
the question I'd have to ask Karl Urban would be out of all the people, all the cast of the Lord of the Rings, he's in character as Éomer. What's the one like character he would want to be having conversations with in character, there in
yeah.
character, delivering lines with each other? I'm
Yeah.
curious who that would be.
I'd love to know about his Star Trek. I really would, because he plays Bones, and that's such an iconic character from the show. And he does do an impression of that actor, but he does it really, really well. And I really loved him in those movies. And
Hammer's
usually,
killed.
well, you go ahead.
Oh, I said, damn it, Jim.
Yeah, usually when like someone tries to emulate a performance someone has already done, it doesn't work. It really works when he did it, and it's kind of a unique thing. So
I always forget about the Lord of the Rings character with Karl Urban, which is sad, but I'm a hardcore boys fan, so it would
yeah,
probably be something related to Butcher.
yeah.
I wonder if they're rewriting the next season right now.
If they're rewriting it,
Yeah.
I think it I think it went
I wonder if it's
perfectly
like
how
a
they
South Park.
wanted.
I wonder if it's like a South Park
I think
scenario
they
when
expected that.
when Donald won the first time that they had to quickly rewrite Mr. Garrison
Dude,
for the next season
I
I'll
think they
say,
because
wrote it knowing that that would happen.
I, I, I think, yeah, I think Bezos actually let them in on it in the production studio. It's like,
Yeah,
I got plans.
they knew
I
two
got
years
play.
ago. Yeah,
They were they were writing it. And they're like, shoot, Jeff, I'm nervous, and he was like, nah, don't worry about it. The show's too important to fail. I won't let that happen. Um, I think you're right for asking a boys related question to him. We
I think, I mean, he owns that role.
and
for
that
me, that's
really
his
is.
defining role. I
It
mean, that
is. That's
is
kind of
him.
his show. Yeah, like
I ask
Homelander
about
is the
Doom.
big character, but it's kind of his show.
yeah. I
Homelander has kind of taken it from him.
I think well, I think so now for sure. Just for his character, I don't want to spoil it because I mean I don't want anybody to. Not that anybody's going to get here who hasn't seen the boys, but I just would hate for that to happen. Where his character's at right now, I just think he's take this sentencing as you will. I think he's just the character's in such a different place than where he could have been
Yeah,
at, whereas Homelander's in the opposite of that situation,
yeah.
where like one of them is on top and the other is just not there at the moment. Um, but yeah, we'll get there. I guess we'll see what happens. Um, yeah, my man's Jeffrey Dean.
Morgan.
Thanks. Um, Brandon, you look shocked there. You bit your lip and you were like,
I I think you're asking the wrong questions here. I think you have to ask him about Doom. I think you
Shut
need
the
to.
hell up.
I think you need to ask about Doom. His career defining movie. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what I'd ask Karl Urban.
I think Karl Urban would do great in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think he'd hop right in and kill it.
They
Behold.
would they would make fun of his accent, right?
He, yeah, the whole time. I would bet. I would bet by the end of the episode they would all be trying to do his accent though in the writing because I bet he would prove himself as somebody who's cool, and then they would just want to be like him and be failing
Yeah.
miserably. Yeah. R.I.P. Country Mac.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have more Judge Dredd topics to go over, or are we pulling the old ripcord on this judicial process? Yeah, I'm seeing some head
I
I'm
would
nods.
not
set.
recommend.
Incendiary.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys get the chance to watch this, sure, do it. Why not? Go for it. Would I say recommend this to a friend? No. An enemy? Maybe. Okay. So everybody, talk about our podcast. You know the deal. Thumbs us up, leave a comment, tell us what you want us to watch. Please do. Seriously, hop on in, join us, join the community, the conversation, if you will. And keep in mind, you're going to see some stuff steamrolling the competition here in the not too distant future. No, but down the road, you're going to see some conversations and posts about something we've got in the works that I don't want to talk about too much, but you're going to see some cool stuff. Anyway, thanks for listening as always. Take care. Keep an eye out for any Judge Dreads out there. They do roam in the night and they will kill you. So, we'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, we're going to watch Blue Velvet. Bye. That was a whole episode of the Whole Other Podcast. It's over now. The podcast is done.